Yoga has so many benefits for cyclists, and we see a lot of pro athletes use yoga in their training program. And today we thought we'd get our yoga expert in, Vikki, to show us through a routine specifically for legs for a cyclist. So as cyclists, we work our legs extremely hard on the bike. Why is it important for us to do yoga and concentrate on working our legs off the bike as well?
Well, if you think about the number of pedal revolutions in any one ride and put that to perhaps years of riding, if we neglect the quads and the hip flexors, those muscles become very, very short and you're not going to be getting or using them to their full potential. So we're going to lengthen into the quads and the hip flexors and open into the front of the body today.
Perfect. Let's get going.
Okay, we're going to start in a child's pose. So with the hands to the mat, we're going to come onto our hands and knees to begin. Take the knees nice and wide and the toes together, and we're going to sink the hips back towards the heels. So we're going to begin by easing some sensation through the hips and lower back, if you think about all of the connective tissue from fronts of the legs to the backs of the legs. So we'll begin here. You're going to reach the arms forwards. This might feel enough. If you can, take the forehead down to the floor, or perhaps rest it on a cushion. That might be comfortable. If not, and you're quite upright here, that's quite all right. We're going to breathe nice and deeply, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. Finding a deep, full breath. So it's actually the breath that releases the tension in the body and eases the sensation. So we want to work with a breath that is much fuller than our natural breath. You'll start to notice some sensations on the exhale of releasing and relaxing, and it's that space that we want to soften into, using the out breaths to relax into the poses. That's going to be really helpful to ease the tension and change the way that the pose feels. You might notice with the out breath that the hips become a little more heavy, and you can allow them to sink back to the heels a bit more. But no force here, just full breaths. Really nice. We'll take one more here. And then we're going to walk the hands back up, in towards the body. Come onto all fours again. We're going to take our downward facing dog. So on your inhale, we're going to tuck the toes and send the sit bones to the sky. And as you exhale, gently pressing the heels towards the floor. So it's this upside down V shape. Your feet do not have to be flat to the floor. As you inhale, we're going to think about sending the sit bones high again, pointing them to the sky, and exhaling to gently encourage the heels towards the floor, just enough to find that stretch in the backs of the legs. We want to spread the fingers nice and wide and press the floor away so that the chest comes back towards the thighs. Now, if you're quite tight in the backs of the legs here, the legs do not have to be straight. We can take a bend in the knees, really nice. Notice how you can still access the hamstrings, backs of legs with bent knees. And then if we can, we're going to send the sit bones a little bit higher here, really nice. And then we can gently press the chest back towards the thighs. Beautiful. So we've got this length in the spine here. That's really what we're going for. We do not need straight legs. That's really nice, man. A nice long breath. Beautiful. One more here. That's really nice. From downward facing dog, then we're going to step the right foot forwards between the hands. If it doesn't make it all the way, give it a little hand. Drop the back knee, so left knee is down to the mat. And we're going to come to a low lunge. So if it feels comfortable, we're going to lift up and take the hands to the right knee. It might be beneficial for you to maybe have a block either side and maybe pop the hands on a block. So see how you feel. If your knee is a little sensitive on the floor, if it's a little hard, you can always fold over the mat or use a cushion or a little towel or something underneath that back knee. So we're going to take a breath in and lift the chest. So broaden across the chest, draw the shoulders back. And as you exhale, we're going to sink the hips forward. So we're looking for a stretch in the top of the left thigh here in that left hip flexor.
Notice the angle of the thighs here. So if you're actually quite tight here, you might find you've got more of a right angle, and that's okay. Just sink the hips forwards enough to get a feeling, a stretch here. And then as you breathe, you might find you get to sink the hips forwards a little more. Use the out breaths to soften into the pose. And if it's really tight, strong sensation needs more breath. So deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. Noticing if you're holding tension in the shoulders, in the upper body at all. If something's hard, sometimes the energy refers somewhere else and we tighten up. So softening the shoulders, really just want the feeling in this left hip flexor. Now you can stay here. If this is enough, be here. We can deepen this sensation. If you release the blocks and then inhale to reach the arms up. And then right hand takes hold of left wrist. And as you exhale, we're going to lean over to the right. So it's going to deepen that stretch through the left side of the body. So taking hold of the wrist, you can just pull that wrist over. So your right hand is on the left wrist. Lovely, yeah. So we're just going to deepen the stretch through the side of the body here and a bit more deeply into the hip flexor. If that feels okay. If you come here and it feels too much, then we just come straight back.
A little too
much. Take a breath. Lovely. Take the hands down to the mat. You're going to tuck the back toes. We're coming back to downward dog. So we're going to send that right foot back. Take an inhale, sit bones high. Exhale, heels down towards the floor. And then the left side. So on your inhale, step the left foot forwards and drop the right knee. Again, you might bring the hands up to the knee if that feels okay. If you want a bit more stability and to help you keep the chest open, you might use the blocks. You can use books at home, anything that's got some structure to it, because you might really need to press down to help you get this lift. So once again, finding the stretch. Top of right thigh into that hip flexor. And it might take a breath or two for your body to really surrender to what we're doing. If you haven't stretched much before, then you'll notice that there's a resistance in the body to doing it. And so we just need to move carefully. Sadly, your maximum effort is not going to make you super flexible in one session. You really have to be very kind and really gentle with it. If you approach a pose really easily with care, you'll find you'll get a lot further. So if you want to come and deepen that stretch, you might reach the arms up as you inhale. And then the left hand taking hold of the right wrist and then drawing it over to the left so we get a stretch deeper through that hip flexor and the right side of the body. And then inhaling to the top and releasing the arms down.
Is it normal to be like that side felt a little bit better than the other side? So
left and right side can be very different. You might be stronger on one leg than the other. And so it's just really important to notice the imbalances, and we just work with what we have. Like, not everything's going to be even, and that's okay. So taking the hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes, send that left foot back to meet the right one. Downward facing dog. Inhale, hips high. Exhale, gently pressing the heels down to the mat. Take a breath, deep inhale. Deep exhale. Then we're going to step through to seated. So you're going to step to the middle of your mat, sit the bum down. We're going to swing around to the side so we can use the length of the mat and take the legs wide. So we're going to take a forward fold here. Now you might find if you are quite tight in the back that we might need to elevate this the pelvis a little. Your legs don't need to be super wide. We really just need them wide enough so you feel the stretch into the groin and the inner thigh. So those adductor muscles get used a lot and we rarely stretch them. It's quite a hard place to stretch. So legs wide as is comfortable for you. You're going to take your fingertips to the mat in front. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're creeping fingertips forwards. Just enough to get that stretch into the groin, inner thigh, and we're going to stay there and breathe.
That is a very poor effort from yourself.
One thing to mention here, classic, is that if you are quite tight in the back here, the stretch is going to be more this folding action, and you might not even get to the inner thigh much. So if you want to lift your bum a sec for me, we're going to pop your bum on a cushion, just really on the edge, just to help tilt the pelvis, and it's going to help you get more into the target area of the stretch. So now you're a little less curved in the spine here. Do you find that you feel it on the inner thigh into the groin?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And if you need a couple of cushions, you might just need some help to find that fold action. But that's really nice. We're going to flex the feet. So we're nice and active in the legs. And again, finding that full breath. It's easy to lose it, and when we arrive in the pose, we just want to reconnect with the long inhale and the slow exhale. Really nice. Just 2 more here. Lovely, 1 more. Really nice. On your in-breath then, we're going to walk the hands back in towards the body. Lovely, and swing the legs back around to the front. You can discard the cushion. Okay, we're going to use a strap for this next one. I have yoga straps here. This is not necessary. If you have a dressing gown belt, a scarf at home, anything like this will be absolutely fine. So taking your strap, you're going to come to lying on your back. And you're going to place the strap through sort of the middle, the ball of the foot basically. So we use the right leg first. And you want to take hold of the strap as close to the foot as you can get. Only because we want to keep the arm long. And you'll notice when we start to move into the stretch, we don't want to encourage extra tension by you pulling and really tensing into the bicep here. So if you can keep the arm long, you can keep the sole of the left foot to the mat, or you might extend the leg out long along the mat. It's entirely up to you. So you're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, we're gently going to pull on the strap and draw the foot towards the face. And it might not have to come far for you to get the stretch in the back of the leg. And if you notice that it comes a little deeper and the arm becomes tense because it's bent, then we just release and take hold of the strap a little closer to the foot. But as long as the stretch is in the back of the leg, we are there. And we're looking really nice. Using the out breath to release, relax. That's great. 1 more here. Now, keeping the strap in the right hand, you're going to let that right foot come out to the side. So we're going to find that stretch on the inner thigh into the groin again. And it might not have to come far for the sensation to be enough. So you let it fall as much as you want. We just want to be mindful of this left hip. So you might want to place your left hand on your left hip to stop your whole body kind of rocking over. And then when you're in a place where you can feel the stretch into the groin, the inside of that right thigh, then we're just going to hold it there and breathe. And you might find after a few breaths, it feels a little more weighty. It might want to go a bit deeper, and that's okay. It's just important to be in a place where you can keep the breath flowing. If your breath becomes really short or you're holding your breath because it's quite a stretch, then we just want to ease back. We don't want to compromise the breath. That's the indicator that we are in a place where we can be comfortable.
It's a lot harder than you think to concentrate on your breath, because when you're obviously doing these stretches, you concentrate on that and then
and then you lose the breath. Yeah, it's really common. Yeah, it takes a while to kind of sink the breath. We'll take 1 more here. And then you're going to take the right foot back to the top. You're going to switch hands. The left hand is going to take hold of the strap, and then we're going to allow, you might want to stretch this leg out now, Manon. You're going to allow the right foot to come across the body to the left, and we're looking for a stretch in the outside of that right thigh. So kind of IT band area, which is typically a tough place to, if you've got the stretch, then yeah, you can come all the way over. You might find that maybe the foot gets a little bit stuck on the way, and you breathe, and then it might come down a bit more heavy. If your foot quite easily falls to the floor like Manon's, then you might want to think about taking the foot a little higher. Maybe it'll deepen the stretch outside of that thigh.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Feel it now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the breath long. Two more here. Last one. Really nice. So we're going to take that right foot to the sky. You can release the strap. And we'll send the right leg out long alongside the left. And then just take a moment, like a whole breath, just to notice difference between right and left legs. Your right leg might feel a little longer.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know if that was a silly thing to say.
No,
it does feel longer.
It does, yeah. And then we'll take it to the left side. So you're going to hook your strap around the ball of the left foot. Strap is in the left hand, and again we'll keep the left arm nice and long, so we're not going to add tension by holding with a bent arm. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, gently pulling on the strap to find the stretch in the back of the leg. Again, the sole of the right foot can be to the mat. You can take the leg out long, whichever feels most comfortable. Our attention is on the back of the left leg, so as long as we have the stretch there, we're good. Really nice. Take one more here. Slow out breaths. Remember, it's the out breath that finds the ease and we can release the tension. So on your next inhale, that's your breath to prepare. And then on the out breath, allowing that left foot to come out to the side, enough to get the stretch on the inner thigh. That's really great. Manans, remember to keep the right hand on the pelvis so that her whole body doesn't rock over. We just want the left leg. Now remember, there's not a static place we need to be. This can move as we breathe and we notice how things are feeling and the changes in the sensation of the stretch. So there's not a fixed point. We're breathing just to explore the space that we can make. And the space we're looking to make here is on the inner thigh, groin, left leg. One more here. And then on your in breath, foot comes to the top. And we switch hands. Strap is in the right hand, and as you exhale, gently guiding the leg over across the body. And we're looking for that stretch on the outside edge of that left thigh. And if the foot easily comes down, as Manans has, then she might take the foot a little higher to keep that stretch where we want it. Looking to try and soften the breath. If you really are focusing on the breath, it's really easy for the breath to become quite raspy, like you feel like you're making it long, but it's, you know, quite labored. So when you arrive in the pose, just to try and breathe a little more softly, keeping the breath long. The breath is absolutely key, and you'll notice it on the bike too. If you breathe slow and steady when you're working hard, you can change the sensations in the legs, you can calm the heart rate with your breath. Really nice. On your inhale then, Manan, we're going to take the left leg back to the sky and then release the strap and lie on your back and just take a full breath in and a slow breath out. Okay, we're going to roll over onto our belly here. I don't know which way you might want to come. So this is going to be a juicy one for the quads. So on the belly, and we're going to take the right forearm parallel with the top edge of your mat, and it's going to be like a pillow. So we want the forehead, to come down to that right forearm. You're going to bend the left leg at the knee and reach back and take hold of that foot or that ankle. If you're finding that actually you can't reach, you can use your strap or your scarf to loop around the foot and take hold, or you might grab hold of a piece of clothing or something. But if you've got hold of the foot, we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, we're going to press the hips down into the mat. So you're going to notice a stretch into that left quad. And if that stretch feels quite manageable, not too bad, as we breathe, we're going to gently draw that left foot towards the butt. So the deeper you draw the foot to the butt, the deeper that stretch will be in the left quad. Be really mindful if it's quite juicy there for you. You might find that you tense up in the upper body and other areas of the body where we do really want to be relaxed. So
Letting go in the shoulders, the upper body, just keeping the stretch to the left quad, the front of that left thigh. And knowing if you pull on that foot a little more deeply towards the butt or you press the hips down to the mat, it's going to make it more intense. So if you come to a place which is too much and you've lost that long breath, we can just ease out a touch. I'm going to take one more breath here. Deep inhale, slow exhale. And then releasing that foot. We're going to switch sides. So the left forearm comes parallel top edge of the mat, forehead to that left forearm as a pillow. Lifting that right foot, taking the right foot into the right hand. Taking a breath in, prepare, nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, we'll begin by pressing the hips down to the floor. Feeling into that sensation in that right quad to begin. Noticing how intense it feels. If it's manageable, then we might start to draw that right foot towards the right butt. And if it's plenty, you just be where you are. As long as you can keep the stretch and breathe, you're in a good place. Really nice. One more deep inhale. Slow exhale. And then releasing that foot, take that leg out long in front. You might take one cheek to the mat and release the arms to the sides of the body, the fingertips down towards the toes. Just take a moment to notice any changes in sensations in the legs. And I always recommend to take a little moment to rest at the end of the class. So if you're happy on your belly, you can stay there. If you would prefer to roll over onto your back, you can lie on your back.
Could stay here all day. So relaxing.
So worth it for the rest at the end.
Yeah. That was great. Feel very relaxed and stretched, which is good. If you guys did enjoy this video and you'd like more yoga videos, please let us know down in the comment section below.